Today I want to see if I can beat every single Pokemon champion, and there is a lot of them now with Ash's Generation 1 team. And yes, this time I didn't forget about you two either. Ash has quite a variety to choose from here, but I'm going to go with what I imagine most people class as his early team. We might need to make some substitutes in the later generations if these Pokemon aren't available. So let's go into some brief rules. I'm only using Ash's Generation 1 team for battles. I won't use any held items. I'll use each feature involved if it's available to our team, like Mega Evolution or Z moves. And finally, I won't level past the gym leader's highest level Pokemon, so we will be level capped for this run. As a side note, I won't be playing any remakes of the same champion, so if we play Red, we won't play Fire Red. Let's get started. First up is Pokemon Yellow, and we have the champion in this game, Blue. He has a very diverse team, but we have some solid coverage now. His lead is Sandslash, and we lead with Squirtle. We have the type advantage here, so we go for a super effective Surf, and that's enough to take down the Sandslash in one critical hit attack. Second out is Alakazam. It outspeeds us and does Psychic for nearly half of our HP, as we hit another critical hit Body Slam, taking him to the red, and we're getting the Paralyze. RNG is definitely in our favour so far. We now outspeed, so another Body Slam, and he goes down also. Third is Executor, but we know from his move pool his only grass move is Leech Seed, so that AI will always go for it thinking it's going to be super effective. So we can fire off an Ice Beam doing nearly half, as he does in fact Leech Seed us. We hit off another Ice Beam and he's in the red now. He again goes for Leech Seed, meaning one more attack and we take down Executor. Out comes Cloyster and Squirtle's putting some solid work, so we opt to swap to Pikachu now. He hits us with a Spike Cannon for okay damage and we can take him out in one Thunderbolt. Ninetales comes out and we outspeed, hitting a Thunderbolt as he goes for a Fire Spin. In Generation 1 this move stops you from attacking as we take damage from it. We do break through though and we hit a Thunderbolt for the critical hit again and the Paralyze. Opting to save our little yellow friend from taking more damage, I let Pidgeot get some spotlight here. He lowers our defense with Tail Whip, but we double edge and down he goes. I really like Pidgeot's Sprite in this game. We swap to Bulbasaur on Jolteon, but I forget that bug is super effective against us this generation, so we go down to 25% before we were able to put him to sleep. We set up a Swords Dance, greatly boosting our attack stat, and then I go for a Body Slam next turn and we critical hit again. Jolteon stays asleep, so one more move and we take down Blue, beating Generation 1. It's time to head over to Johto. Lance is a champion in Generation 2, and looking at his team I'm feeling pretty confident as we have some ice moves to hopefully deal with the problems like Dragonite. Gyarados is his lead and we lead with Butterfree. We're faster than him though and we put this thing to sleep. We have a move called Nightmare that deals a lot of damage each turn he's asleep, so we set that up and we start chipping away at his HP. I hit a Giga Drain, taking him to half as he wakes up and sets up the Rain with Rain Dance. We opt to put him back to sleep here and set up another Nightmare. I want to stall turns of Rain so Dragonite can't hit Thunders on our team, as I have a strategy I want to try out. We take out the Gyarados with another Giga Drain and out comes the first Dragonite. We put this Dragonite to sleep and then I swap over to Squirtle. Here I go for a defense curl, boosting the power of our rollout. We land it doing nearly half on our first one. However, that angers the dragon and he wakes up and hits a super effective Thunder, nearly taking out our little turtle. Our second rollout annihilates him though, so that's one dragon down. Out is another level 47 Dragonite and he doesn't feel bad as he blasts us with a Hyper Beam. Poor little Squirtle. We send out Pikachu on the turn he wants to recharge and we set up the Rain. We go for a Thunder doing just over half as Dragonite paralyzes us. That makes us slower than this thing now. He then Hyper Beams us, nearly taking down Pikachu as we just survive. We break through the Paralyze and we take him out with a Thunder. His ace is in now, the level 50 Dragonite, and Pikachu's done his job, so I let him go down to an Outrage. Back to Butterfree and it's time to put him back to sleep. We go for a Nightmare but Lance predicts us and he full restores. We go for another Sleep Powder but miss and he sets up a Safeguard, destroying that strategy. It's time to show though what our Butterfree is made of. As we hit a Psychic, we take good damage from Outrage as we both trade blows. Dragonite lives on 1 HP as Butterfree dodges a Hyper Beam and finishes him off with a Giga Drain. Out comes Aerodactyl though, who quickly outspeeds us and takes us out with a Rock Slide. We go into Bulbasaur. I know he's going to hit us hard, but I want to get off a Leech Seed for some passive recovery. And then we swap into Charizard on the incoming wing attack. We have hidden power, so we can take down Aerodactyl now in just one move, leaving us at high HP for a Charizard standoff. Looking back, I don't know why I set up Leech Seed, because I just took him out in one hit anyway. But if you look at the back sprite though of Charizard, it looks way cooler than the other, don't you agree? We exchange blows as I hit hard with Dragon Breath and we dodge Hyper Beams. He eventually connects, but it's too late and we take him down in one more move, beating Lance. Let's set sail to Hoenn now and take on the champions there. In Hoenn, Steven is the champion. He has a lot of rock and steel types, but our team is pretty diverse and we nearly have an answer to most of his Pokemon. It's a familiar battle with Pikachu leading off versus Skarmory. I'm not double teaming this run, so I just go for a Thunderbolt and we take him to the red as he hits us with a Toxic. I actually prefer not taking it out as Steven will burn a full restore here rather than on his bigger threats later on. We go for another Thunderbolt, taking him back down to 1 HP, and we take a little poison damage. However, the next turn, we can take him out with a Thunderbolt. He then sends out Aggron, and this is an obvious incoming Earthquake, so we can swap out to Butterfree and put him to sleep. Realising I can't really do much to him, I swap to what I believe to be my counter, Bulbasaur. We go for a Leech Seed first to get some chip damage and get a little bit of recovery, but he wakes up and hits an Earthquake for nearly half, but we heal. Now we can set up a Sunny Day as he takes us pretty low with another attack, but with Leech Seed and a now boosted Sunny Day Synthesis, it puts us on basically full HP. He hits us again, taking us to half. I fire off a Solar Beam and take out the Aggron in one move. He sends out our Moldol next, and I think I'm pretty happy to sacrifice my Bulbasaur now. I go for a Leech Seed, however we tank an Aerial Ace like a champ and we live. I decide to get off a little damage with a Solar Beam before going down, but we actually take it out in one move. You go Bulbasaur. Claydol comes out and I go for a Leech Seed, but he outspeeds us and takes us out of an Ancient Power. Thankfully no boosts. Time for Squirtle. We eat an Earthquake reasonably well and we set up the Rain. Claydol senses a threat incoming and light screens to reduce our special attack damage, but a Rain boosted Surf is doing hefty damage to him. We get hit again, but one more Surf takes him down. Cradilly's up and I don't really have a good answer for this thing now. We hit an Ice Beam, but it's doing nothing and he takes us out with a Giga Drain. I make a misplay here and go into Butterfree, so I decide to Psychic for chip damage as we go down to an Ancient Power. It's Pidgeot's time to shine now and I want to save my Charizard for Metagross, so I go for a Steel Wing doing really good damage. An Ancient Power doesn't do much to us and we go for another Steel Wing, but we miss and he throws rocks at us and he gets a critical hit, taking down our bird. It's time for Charizard now and we go for a Dragon Dance to make sure I can secure the KO on him. We just need to tank an Ancient Power and we do, meaning we can take him down with a Fire Punch. Lastly is Metagross, but one boosted Fire Punch is all I need to take him down, beating Steven. It's time for the other champion in these games now, Wallace. So Wallace is a water type champion and we have two checks for him, being Bulbasaur and Pikachu, so I'm not too worried. His lead is Wailord and we lead with Bulbasaur. I go for a Leech Seed to get HP back as this thing has a nice HP stat and he sets up a Rain Dance. We can negate that straight away though with a Sunny Day as he connects a Blizzard doing massive amounts of damage to us, taking us to only 8 HP. However, with Leech Seed Chip and a Synthesis in the Sun, we can recover most of the damage as he goes for a Double Edge, still hitting us pretty hard. We get to a reasonable HP with Leech Seed, so I go for a Solar Beam, which does enough damage to take down the whale. Next up is Milotic. This thing has great bulk, so I choose to attack straight away with the sun being up, but Milotic is faster and hits an Ice Beam and takes us out. Our best threat to send out is Pikachu, and we hit a Thunderbolt doing around 50% and getting the Paralyze, and luckily we get the Power Hacks this turn too. We connect another attack, but it's not enough, and Milotic recovers, is healing more. We hit another Thunderbolt and get another Power Hacks as Milotic heals with its berry, meaning we can take it out and not be recover stalled by this thing. Wally sends out Gyarados now, and we have to outspeed, and we do, so one Thunderbolt is enough to take out the water flying type. Wish cashes out, and now we don't really have a way to attack this, especially with Pikachu, so we swap on the incoming Earthquake to Pidgeot. We land a critical hit Aerial Ace as Wish cashing Amnesias. We Aerial Ace again, and we take a Hyper Beam, but Pidgeot tanks it. One more Aerial Ace, and down goes the Catfish. Up next is Tentacruel. I stay in and go for an Aerial Ace, and Crit Jot crits again. Tentacruel misses a Toxic, so next turn Crit Jot crits another Aerial Ace, taking down Tentacruel. Finally is Ludicolo, but it's part grass type, so it's a 2-hit KO with Aerial Ace. He doesn't attack us and sets up a double team, meaning we can take it down, beating Wallace and beating Generation 3. I'm glad different Pokemon are getting their time to shine in this run so far. Let's go to Sinnoh. Cynthia is a champion here, and she has a strong team with a lot of coverage, so it should be an interesting battle. We lead off with Butterfree, and out first is Spiritomb. We put it to sleep turn 1, and then turn 2 we hit a Bug Buzz for half. Spiritomb wakes up and hits us with a Dark Pulse. We can take him out the following turn though with one more attack, and out second is Togekiss. We can't take a hit, so we can swap into Pikachu, who doesn't actually take an Air Slash as well as I thought he would. We hit a Thunderbolt for half before a Psychic takes us down. We send out Squirtle and we take an Air Slash to half as well before we can take him to the red with Ice Beam. Cynthia full restores though, allowing us to fire off another Ice Beam. Togekiss misses us, so we do one more attack, taking her to 25% before she takes out our turtle. We can send out Pidgeot to revenge kill, and Milotic comes out. We hit a U-turn to go into Bulbasaur as she goes for a Miracle. Milotic sets up an Aqua Ring as we Leech Seed to negate it, and we get more recovery. We settled the Sun with Sunny Day, and she goes for a Miracle again. We take an Ice Beam though, taking us reasonably low before firing off a Solar Beam for the knockout. Lucario swaps in and revenge kills us with Aura Sphere, but with the Sun being up, this is prime time for us to go into Charizard. We set up a Dragon Dance and Lucario hits us with a weak Psychic, then we can take it out in one Fire Punch. Garchomp is out and we do half with a boosted Dragon Claw as it misses a Dragon Rush. We take him down to the red with another Dragon Claw and he misses us again. Cynthia is going to heal him, so we can just keep clawing until he goes down, which leaves her last Pokemon, Roserade. But Charizard gets a Fire Punch and we defeat Cynthia. I decided it was time for a little bit of a spotlight on Charizard now, and he did his job well. On to Generation 5. Our first champion for Gen 5 is Alder, and like Cynthia he has a wide range of Pokemon. His lead is a Selgor, and I know from our past challenges he can't touch Charizard, so in order for it to be more interesting, we lead Pidgeot. We can hit a super effective Aerial Ace as the Selgor hits a Focus Blast doing great damage. We take him to the red, so Alder will burn a full restore here, and we can keep hitting Aerial Aces. He goes for a me first and takes us to just under half with our own Aerial Ace as we take out the bug. Out comes Vanillix and the Ice Move is coming, so I swap to Charizard and we dodge the attack. We fire off a Fire Punch and we get the burn as Vanillix sets up a Light Screen, boosting his team's special defense. We can take out the Ice Cream now with one more move, and out comes Bufalon. I actually don't have an answer to this thing. It has Sap Sipper for an ability too, so we can't even put it to sleep. I swap to Bulbasaur as it goes for a Stone Age and it connects. I'm hoping we can live one more move and set up a Sunny Day and perhaps stall with Synthesis and Solar Beam, but a critical hit Earthquake takes down Bulbasaur. With the Sun up, I go into Charizard and we hit a Fire Punch for nearly half as he misses a Stone Edge. We Fire Punch again, taking him to low HP as he connects a Stone Edge and he takes down Charizard. Pidgeot comes in, but an Aerial Ace is too weak to take it out and it hits a Head Charge, taking us both down. I choose Squirtle and she chooses Druddigon, so it's a good matchup for us. However, an Outrage takes us to 40 HP as we hit an Ice Beam for only half of his health. She takes down our turtle and we send in Butterfree. We put it to sleep and start setting up some Quiver Dances. We can get to a +3 and Druddigon wakes up, hits itself in confusion, so we can then take it down with a Psychic. Volcarona is a huge threat, so we put that thing to sleep and fire off a Shadow Bolt for half. It stays asleep thankfully, so we can take down Volcarona with not much issue. Alder's final Pokemon is the Scavalier, and we don't have a way to hurt this thing. We don't do much damage as it hits us with a Giga Impact, taking us down to 30 HP. Because it needs to recharge, we attack again, taking it to a sliver of HP, and it's all up to Pikachu now. But thankfully we outspeed. That means we can take it out with a Charge Beam. Honestly, if we did not burn a full restore on a Selgor on the first fight, we probably lost here. On to Iris. Iris's Hydreigon is looking like a huge problem. It has coverage for most of our team. So we lead with Butterfree and out is Hydreigon. It's faster than us and hits a Flamethrower doing massive damage, but we managed to put it to sleep. We can set up a Quiver Dance and Hydreigon stays asleep. We can then fire off a super effective Bug Buzz for the one shot. Not such a problem after all. Druddigon comes out and we put that to sleep also. We fire off a Bug Buzz for huge damage as it wakes up and takes down Butterfree with a Dragon Tail. We can send out Pidgeot and Iris heals it with a full restore as we hit a very weak Aerial Ace. I opt to go for a Feather Dance here and he misses a Rock Slide, so we swap into Bulbasaur. Druddigon hits a Focus Blast for little damage as we set up a Leech Seed, but we get hit by a Flamethrower and we go down in one single move. Our swap in now is Squirtle, and we hit an Ice Beam doing a good chunk of damage, and Druddigon misses us, meaning one more Ice Beam and we can take down Druddigon. Lapras is out, and I know it has Thunderbolt, so we swap to Pikachu and Pikachu tanks it. We fire off our own Thunderbolt for over half, and an Ice Beam takes us to 19 HP, meaning one more Thunderbolt and we can take down Lapras. Aggron is back out and we fire off another huge Thunderbolt thanks to its low special defense, and Pikachu goes down to a double edge. Squirtle comes out and Ice Beam does nothing as he automizes, raising his speed. So the next turn he outspeeds us and hits us for a double edge, and we choose to dig underground. We connect, taking out the Aggron. Haxorus time, and we tank an Earthquake holding on with only 9 HP, and we fire off a big Ice Beam as Squirtle then goes down after fighting valiantly. We send out Charizard and don't quite KO it with a Dragon Claw as he sets up a Dragon Dance. I opt to match him here with my own Dragon Dance, and he hits a Dual Chop, nearly taking down Charizard, but a boosted Dragon Claw takes him down. Her last Pokemon is Archeops, and our last 2 Pokemon are weak to him. I misplay here and Fire Punch rather than Dragon Claw, so Archeops takes us down in one Rock Slide, meaning it's all up to Pidgeot now. We dodge a Rock Slide and fire off a Steel Wing, taking it low. He hits us with a weak Acrobatics thanks to his ability, and Pidgeot can take him down, beating Iris and beating the Generation 5 champions. Time to move on to Generation 6. In Pokemon X and Y, Diantha's the champion. She has quite a few threats to us, so let's jump into the battle. We lead Butterfree and her lead is Hawlucha. I actually didn't level up Butterfree here, so we're 10 levels under the cap. Hawlucha sets up a Swords Dance, so we put it to sleep. With Hawlucha snoozing, we can set up a Quiver Dance, giving us a +1 to our speed, special attack, and special defense. Then we can take down Hawlucha with a super effective Psychic. Out comes the T-Rex, and I just go for a Bug Buzz, but our Butterfree is too powerful, so we take him out in just one move. Out comes the Ice Dinosaur Aurorus, and I hit another Bug Buzz for around half, as he sets up a Light Screen, boosting his special defense. I decide to put Aurorus to sleep here, and then the next turn we can hit a Bug Buzz, taking it to the red. I know Diantha will heal now and wake him up, so I Quiver Dance again to give us a +2 in our stats. We put it to sleep to keep our Butterfree healthy, and then we can fire off a Bug Buzz with Light Screen down. We still don't KO, so Diantha full restores again, but we're doing too much damage with our moves, and we can take down the Ice Dinosaur no problems. Gudra is out and it's got great bulk, so I don't expect the KO here. We take it to half and it connects a Fire Blast, but thanks to our special defense boost, we take it pretty well, so one more Bug Buzz and down goes Gudra. Galgeist is out, but it's weak to Bug, so this thing yet again gets destroyed by us. I don't think in 3 runs it's managed to hit me yet, maybe next time Galgeist. Her last Pokemon is Gardevoir. I decide to test my luck here after she Mega Evolves and see if our last Bug Buzz can knock her out for a Butterfree sweep, but it doesn't quite do enough, and Gardevoir hits a Thunderbolt, taking us to 18 HP. We go for a Psychic, as there's no PP left now in Bug Buzz. We take it to the very last of its HP, but she takes down Butterfree. You did amazing though, good job. I get Bulbasaur sometime here, and on the heal, we hit a Sludge Bomb. I know it's going to take us down in a Psychic, but I let it so I can switch into Pidgeot for free. One Steel Wing with Pidgeot ends Gardevoir, beating Generation 6. Honestly, Butterfree at level 58 carried this run. I could have probably swept if I kept putting Pokemon to sleep, but that does get a bit boring. So let's set sail to Alola. There is no champion of Alola, so we have to fight our rival Hal to become champion. I really don't have an answer to the Alolan Raichu. Nothing on our team matches up well against it, so we might have to sacrifice something early to take it down. So we lead with Charizard, and this is the Alolan Raichu. He outspeeds us and nearly takes us down with a Thunderbolt, but we can hit a super effective Earthquake and get the KO. Crabominable comes out and seeing the kill with Stone Edge, but we are in range for Blaze, so we can take down the Ice Crab with one single Fire Punch. Next is Tauros, and this thing is fast and scary. It takes down Charizard with a Double Edge. We really don't have a solid answer for this either, so we go into Pidgeot and go for a Z-Power Supersonic Strike to try and do as much damage as we can. It outspeeds and does massive damage to us with Double Edge, and we only take him to around 25% HP with our Z move. One more Double Edge takes out Pidgeot and puts Tauros in the red. I know how he's going to heal here, so I swap into Butterfree and get off a free Quiver Dance to hopefully outspeed this thing. However, we still don't outspeed it, and he takes us to 13 HP with one move. We put it to sleep, and I risk another Quiver Dance for more speed and special attack to guarantee we can take this monster out. We hit a Bug Buzz and do enough damage to take it down. Out comes his starter Incineroar, and being part Dark type, Bug Buzz is neutral to him, so I play it safe and put him to sleep also. We are doing half with Bug Buzz, but thankfully for us he stays asleep, meaning one more attack and we take down Incineroar. Noivern comes out and one Psychic does a good chunk of damage before an Air Slash ends our Butterfree. I can go to Pikachu here and we eat a Super Fang before getting the KO on Noivern with Thunderbolt. Leafeon is his last Pokemon. He hits a Leaf Blade and Pikachu falls down also, leaving just Squirtle and Bulbasaur left. I don't have a poison move on my Bulbasaur because I didn't expect to have to answer to Leafeon with Bulbasaur. He just goes for a baby doll eyes, however, letting us set up the sun. With that, we can fire off a Solar Beam, doing more damage than I thought we would, as he lowers our attack even more. We get hit for a quick attack, doing solid damage, but we fire off another Solar Beam. One more critical hit quick attack takes us to 48 HP before we can finish him off with a Solar Beam. With that, we've beaten Hal. Let's move on to the Switch games now. First up is Trace from Let's Go Pikachu. His Pokemon only have 3 moves, so I'm not sure how difficult this will be. Let's give it a go. He leads with Pidgeot and we lead with our Pikachu. This thing is broken in this game, and now we have the power of friendship mechanic. Trace Mega Evolves his Pidgeot and we hit a Zippy Zap for over half and we land a critical hit. We then dodge a move thanks to the power of friendship, and on our next Zippy Zap, Trace swaps to Marowak. We swap to Squirtle here and we don't take a Boomerang at all. We are faster though and we go for a Scald and we get the burn, reducing his attack as he misses his next move. We hit another Scald, taking him to the red, and he hits a Boomerang, taking us to the red also. On our next Scald, Trace swaps Marowak for Vileplume. Vileplume charges up a Solar Beam, allowing us to get off an Ice Beam for pretty good damage. I decide now's the time to let Squirtle go down and he connects a Solar Beam, taking the turtle out. I swap into Pidgeot and hit a super effective Air Slash, taking down Vileplume in revenge. He sends out Jolteon, and I thought we might be faster, so we go for a Hyper Beam, but he connects a Thunder, taking out our bird. That was a silly misplay on my behalf. We go into Bulbasaur and we don't tank a Thunder as well as I thought we would, and we get paralysed, but we connect and hit a Sleep Powder. We hit a weak Razor Leaf as he stays asleep, then we start firing off some Sludge Bombs. We get him to half before he wakes up and he hits another Thunder, taking us to 19 HP. One more Sludge Bomb takes him to the red before he then finishes us off with a quick attack. Our best swap in now is Pikachu and we dodge a Thunder and take out the Jolteon with a Brick Break. Next out is Rapidash. We go for a Zippy Zap and we critical hit as he Flare Blitzes us for solid damage. On the next Zippy Zap, he chooses to swap in Marowak and sack it to burn damage. After Marowak goes down to the burn damage though, he just brings back out Rapidash, meaning another critical hit Zippy Zap takes down the Fire Horse. Out comes Pidgeot again, but we can take that out with a Zippy Zap also. That was also a critical hit. How many times is that so far? His last Pokemon is Slowbro, and this is an easy matchup for Pikachu technically. We critical hit another Zippy Zap for nearly half, and he hits a Psychic, taking us to 1 HP. His friendship means we tank it. I go for another Zippy Zap, and we crit again. Slowbro hits a Surf, but we tough it out again. This is honestly so stupid. Trace starts to heal now, and I hit a Zippy Zap for another critical hit. But I want to see how long it takes for Slowbro to take us out. So he hits another Surf as we critical hit again and we tough it out. Trace heals and Zippy Zap once more, critical hits, and we tough out another Psychic. This is hilarious. We Brick Break now and Slowbro finally takes down the Pikachu with a Surf. That was interesting to say the least. We send out Butterfree and KO it with a Bug Buzz. Honestly, the friendship mechanic is so funny. Sometimes it does nothing for you, other times it's completely broken. On to Generation 8. The champion for Sword and Shield is Leon. Pidgeot is not available in these games at all, so we're going to have to swap in our first substitute, Snorlax. Let's give him some time to shine. His lead is Aegislash and we lead Charizard. We know he's going to King Shield, so in order not to reduce our attack stat, we go for a Dragon Dance, boosting our speed and attack. The next turn, Aegislash tries to protect itself again, but it can't, so we take it out with 1 Earthquake. Dragapult is next and we hit a big Dragon Claw, taking him to 25% as he hits us with a Thunderbolt, doing over half. One more Dragon Claw though and we can send him back to his ghost friends. Mr. Rhyme comes out and we hit a Fire Punch for a clean one shot. It's looking good so far. Inteleon tanks a Dragon Claw however and in one Snipe Shot takes down Charizard. We send out Pikachu for the revenge kill, but a Snipe Shot takes us to only 17 HP before we connect a Thunderbolt and down goes Inteleon. Haxorus is up and we get some decent damage off with Thunderbolt before an Iron Tail KOs our little mouse. Squirtle's up and Haxorus goes for an Outrage. We barely hang on with 6 HP and fire off an Ice Beam, but we don't do enough damage and and Haxorus survives. He then takes us out the next turn with another Outrage, and that's the end of Squirtle the Turtle. I send out Bulbasaur and go for a Leech Seed knowing he's going to heal now, but we just can't take an attack, and he swiftly knocks us out as well. We send out Butterfree hoping to outspeed or survive our attack, but he critical hits us, taking down Butterfree as well. This battle has quickly changed its pace. It's time for our Snorlax to shine, and we Gigantamax. We eat up an Outrage and go for a max Hailstorm before taking down Haxorus. It's Gigantamax Snorlax versus Gigantamax Charizard time now. He goes for a max Rockfall, but we have great bulk and it's not doing too much. We fire off a max Lightning thanks to knowing Thunder Punch, and it does a lot of damage. We survive the next max Rockfall, meaning Snorlax takes out the Charizard with another max Lightning. Snorlax really saved the day here, so good job, man. It's time for the last challenge now, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's champion Geeta. She has good Pokemon like Espartha, Kingambit and Glamora. We have to make quite a few substitutes here though, as a lot of Pokemon that we've used are not available in these games. So I've subbed in Tauros, Primeape and lastly Muck. We lead off with Pikachu versus Espartha, a familiar matchup. We outspeed and hit a Thunderbolt, doing solid damage as she sets up a Reflect. We hit him again, taking him low as they hit us with a Lumina Crash, destroying our special defense. So next turn we can take down the Ostrich, and out comes Avalugg. We hit a Thunderbolt for nearly half as he avalanches Pikachu and gets a knockout, so then we sub in Primeape and go for a close combat. However, thanks to its high defense stat and the Reflect from Glamora, we don't do enough damage and it fires off a Body Press, taking us low with our defense drop from close combat. However, one more fighting type attack and we take out Avalugg. Out comes Go-Go and we can U-turn for big damage and swap into Tauros on the Zen Headbutt. We hit an Ice Beam, taking it to the red as it critical hits a Horn Leech, restoring some of its HP. One more Ice Beam though and we knock out the goal. Out comes Kingambit and we fire off a Fire Blast, connecting, and we get the burn, meaning his attack is reduced, so Kotal Cleave, I think that's how you say that, does very little damage. We survive it and hit another Fire Blast, knocking out Kingambit. The loser comes in and revenge kills Tauros with a priority Aqua Jet, so we send out Muck. We take a Psycho Cut to half, however our Giga Drain does over half to him, meaning we heal quite a lot back from it. We take another Psycho Cut to the red and heal back, and we get the knockout with another Giga Drain. She sends out her last Pokemon now, the Ace Glamora, and terastallizes into a pure Rock type. She's faster than Muck and takes him down with a super effective Earth Power. We can then send out Primeape and go for a stab close combat, taking out Glamora in one attack and beating every single champion with Ash's original Kanto Pokemon. I'm really happy with an easier run after our Pikachu one. It was a lot of fun and Butterfree really surprised me. Let me know in the comments who you thought the MVP of the run was. As always, if you do enjoy this type of content, consider leaving a subscribe and a like, and I'll keep producing more as I really actually do enjoy making these videos. If you have any feedback, good or bad, let me know also. I thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.